Alright, I'm going for a drive, guys. Gonna have the tunes going here too. Going down to a there's a road that was recently paved, well, a couple of years ago. I'm just gonna go ahead and listen to this part because I love this song. Anyway, I'm driving down here, and it's a nice road. It used to be all gravel and lots of potholes, but they paved it a couple years ago. So I'm gonna drive down here. It's a nice, peaceful. I think it's about 8 or 9 miles down here, maybe 10 miles once I actually get down there. But I used to ride my motorcycles down here, and maybe you know what? I probably won't get a radio signal back here on my radio. That's too bad, because I have Sirius satellite, and this is way in the woods back here. So, wouldn't be surprised if this is just cutting in and out, which it looks like it's going to be doing. So, that's a bummer deal. I'll just go ahead and turn the radio off. But yeah, this is nice to go for a drive. Go down here. Now this road was almost completely washed out, and this was like a two-way road. It used to be, and part of the road was really, I think it was right about here, was just completely washed out. It was very dangerous to be driving back here. The road's barely wide enough for one car, let alone two. So, and there was a couple stop signs here too, because you couldn't have two cars. I really don't think you could have two cars going at any point on this road, but there used to be some cars coming the other way. And there was a couple stop signs, but this is a nice little drive down here. Again, I used to ride my dirt bikes down here when it was all gravel, but they spent a couple years paving this whole road, and now there's a lot of people that come back here because there's you can do fishing, or at least I think you can fish. I don't know, I've never fished, but there's hiking and kayaking, and I think people can. There's a big campsite back here at the end of it, so it's a nice little kind of getaway. So there's a lot of people here in the spring and summer on the weekends, which today is a spring weekend, so I'm sure there'll be some people down here. Let's see if my radio's, I'm gonna guess it's not working. Oh, we got a little signal here. Maybe it'll actually work. That'd be cool. I keep it on the Tom Petty radio mostly. That's my guy, so I guess I kind of take, I think it's pretty common to take musical interests after your parents. Just because that's what you're around when you grow up. Some people might not be around that, but of course you kind of listen to the popular music when you're in school, because you're around enough other kids where even if you don't want to listen to that, you just hear it, at school or at assemblies or, at any sort of sporting event. So you kind of listen to music that is popular. But man, I can tell you what, probably in the past 10 years, I haven't listened to any pop radio or anything on the just general radio, or I don't know any of the new music or anything like that. And I don't know, I think music is something where I think if you listen to stuff you didn't think you might not like certain types of music, or might not ever listen to them unless you are kind of in an environment that's new. And I think that's true about a lot of stuff just with life in general. Okay, that's completely new. I don't know what's up there. That road used to be, that's Mailbox Peak Trailhead. Okay. I've never done that, but this road's very pretty. It's like this pretty much the whole way, and there's a bunch of, you're along the river for a lot of it, so it's very nice. Okay, so it's looking like we're not going to get a signal back here, but that guy was looking at me funny because I have a camera on my face, but that's okay. But yeah, I think you kind of take your musical tastes of your parents. I think that's always with you, or whoever's raising you, and then you listen to the popular music. Like, I remember popular music from 2000 and probably like 5 to like 2012, or maybe even 2003 to 2012, because that's kind of when I was in school. Like, I was in 3rd grade in 2003, and I graduated high school in 2012, so that was almost, I guess it was about 9 years ago now, which seems like a pretty long time, but I guess it's really, if I really think about it, that sounds about right. Because it feels like a long time ago that I was in high school. But time goes by pretty fast. But yeah, so I can pretty much be confident that I don't know any music from about 2013 till about 2000, till about now. I specifically remember this road, and it was totally not paved, and I was going about 80 miles an hour on a dirt bike. I was going on a KTM 520, just hauling ass, because this road was relatively not potholey here. It was a pretty decent road as far as gravel. It still wasn't good, but it wasn't as bad as some of the other stretches. I just remember that tree line here. But yeah, this was a fun little dirt bike ride, because obviously when you're in a car, you can just go kind of 30 or 40 miles an hour down this whole road, but on the dirt bike there's the potholes and the gravel, and you're kind of washing around, and and there's obviously no traffic because the road was completely, there would be some cars trying to trooper it out down here, but you have to go very, very slow, because your suspension is going to get chewed up if you try to go 15 miles an hour or even 10 miles an hour through this. You have to go very slow. So yeah, my musical taste, I guess I just was influenced by whatever my parents were listening to, and it's not that I liked that music or didn't like that music. It was just what was around. You just listen to whatever you listen to, and I didn't really have my own musical taste, I guess. And then in school, when you're in middle school is when you really start to realize there's some guys on dirt bikes there, but obviously not the same because the road's paved now. But when you're in school, in middle school and high school, I think most people, they just kind of listen to whatever other people listen to, which is just the radio, because that's the music that's on when they're driving their cars or when they're just hanging out. So you tend to be very current with the music for the 6 to 8 years that you're kind of middle school and high school age. And then once you get out of that, I think most people have an idea of kind of what they like, or maybe they just don't really listen to music that much. And some people just kind of continually listen to the radio, I guess. But for me, it's like, I don't really actively listen to music. I guess I used to listen to music when I was like working out and stuff, but this was kind of before Pandora Radio or Spotify or any of that stuff. So I didn't really, if you wanted to listen to music, you had to basically have iTunes and buy a little iPod, and then, because you didn't want to lug around a CD player or you didn't want to lug around a big iPod when you were working out, right? The little mini or the little iPod Shuffle is the one you want that clips onto your shirt, because you don't want to have bulk when you're working out. That's the last thing you want. And so probably at least over the last year, I've worked out with no music, and I stopped going to the gym because of COVID. So I've basically just been like running outside and just kind of running in quiet. So that's been good. It's very tranquil. There's no noise really, and I'm generally the only one. I usually try to go to a track to run, so there's generally no one there. And so that's nice. And then again on the iPod, you typically only have a couple hundred songs there, maybe even 100. I only had, I think, 200 songs or something, so you tend to listen to a lot of the same songs. And so I just I don't really care. And I have a Sirius radio, which is nice, but they play the same kind of. If you listen to the same stations, you kind of hear the same music, which again, that's kind of music I like, so that's fine. But I probably listen to the same 10 stations intermittently, depending on what's on there. It's better than nothing, I guess. But music for me, I never really was a musical person at all, and I still probably am not. But I guess I'm just kind of happy with myself for. I learned guitar and I taught myself how to play, and I'm not a good. I would say I'm an intermediate guitar player. I'm definitely not advanced. I'm better than a beginner, but I really just wanted to learn the guitar to play basic chords and just be able to sing along with songs. I'm not I'm not like, it's not like I was a singer or some special talent. I just was proud of myself for sticking with learning the guitar, at least to the point where I could play the chords and strum along to a basic melody. And I have an electric guitar, so I guess I can play a little bit of like soloing, but I have no musical training of any kind. No person that actually knows how to play guitar has ever really helped me out in any way. And so I basically had to learn chords on my own through Google or through like watching a video online. And so that was really hard. There's so many times you just like, well, I don't want to learn it. It's too hard. It doesn't sound right. It sounds bad. But once you get a little bit of it, you can start to see it's like, oh yeah, that sounds like that song, and I can sing along with the song, of course, because I know the lyrics. And it's like, it just keeps encouraging you to want to do more. And then once you reach a certain point, it really becomes, oh, I can pretty much play any song. You might not be able to play all the intricacies of the song without kind of studying it further, but just the basic chord progressions and a little bit of the fills and whatever, you can kind of figure that out pretty fast because you have a general understanding of how the instrument works. So I was proud of myself for doing that, and it was just totally something I did on my own. No one, and I think that's kind of when you have, because no one's telling you to do it. No one's, again, I'm sorry if the camera view's off on this. It's hard to know exactly where it's pointing, so maybe it's pointing too much down or too high. I really don't know. I might not even post this because it might be the bad angle. It looked okay before I went, but I never really know because I have to take the camera off every time and readjust it when I take my camera out of my car. But yeah, no one's telling you what to do. No one's paying you to do anything. No one is. It's just all stuff that you have your own ambition to do it, your own desire to do it, and you could spend 5 hours a day doing it, or you could not spend another minute of your life doing it. No one would care, right? So those are the things that if you really want to do them, you can do them. And that's why, so many people have done really amazing things, because they either really liked doing it, or they really worked hard at it to become proficient at it, And so it's just very rare that someone's going to spend so much time doing something like that, right? Like continuously, because it's draining to continuously work on, mastering a craft, whether that's like being a chef or, being a bodybuilder, or, being a great salesman or a great doctor, or, those things take a lot of effort, of continuous effort, and a lot of failure, right? You're gonna mess up, you're gonna do things wrong, and in a lot of cases you're gonna have to basically forego kind of short-term rewards for long-term payoffs. And so that's another thing that most people just don't want to do. It's like, I don't want to put in a bunch of work for the next 10 years of my life and basically get nothing, and then maybe at the end of it I'm gonna get nothing still, right? But people that do that, and then after 10 or 15 years they might have gotten very little, and then all of a sudden they break through, or they become a very well-respected doctor, or whatever the case is, and they're able to become a very unique person, because they have such a unique skill set. And so they can take that, they're going to make a lot more money, they're going to have a lot more interesting experiences and a lot more freedom in their life. But that obviously they spent a long time in their life probably doing things that most other people just wouldn't do. So those people are always interesting, because it's really, there's a lot of uncertainty in that. And most people kind of just want security of, nothing crazy is going to happen to me, nothing really good is going to happen to me, but by the same token, nothing really bad is going to happen to me. I'm going to have see, this is what this road used to be. You see how this road, you can really only go pretty slow on this stuff, right? So people would go the whole way down here on this crap road, and it would be filled with potholes and everything. But what I was saying is that most people, they want a sense of security, right? Because security is a fundamental human need. So if you don't have that, you're going to be probably not in the best mental place, and not in the best physical place, and you're going to be kind of struggling probably emotionally too. And so most people just get kind of a normal job, and they don't really spend a lot of time trying to be the best at anything. Because yes, it's very difficult, but it also takes a lot of time to even try, So, and that's kind of where that phrase, it's better to fail than to have not tried at all, which, I can see how that would probably be true, because a lot of people that never really try anything, there's a lot of maybe regret and a lot of what ifs. But there's also a lot of bad stuff that comes with trying and, failing, and then just kind of not trying again, right? So there's a lot of complacency with people that just never try anything. It's like, I'm comfortable and I don't really need to try anything else in my life professionally, and I don't need to do all this stuff, and I'm just going to live a normal existence here. And that's probably the majority of people is the case. But see, this road can get pretty flooded here. So for the majority of people, I think that's the case, where it's just like, hey, I don't really want to do anything like risky. I like having a place to sleep that's decent. I'm an average person. I have a car. I get to spend my weekends doing, watching football, or going to the movies or something, right? Hanging out with maybe my significant other, whatever the case is. Pretty simple life. And I think a lot of times those people wouldn't even want the other thing because it's just too much. It's like living in the limelight. It's just too much. It's like, well, I'm always on the move. I'm always doing stuff. I'm going here. I'm going there. All these people want to talk to me. It can be a little over. I mean, I feel like I'm, if I say anything or do anything that I'm going to get criticized publicly. So a lot of those people are just like, I don't even want to. And I think that makes sense. Most people just kind of want to live their own life, even if it's not, Hollywood glamorous. Most people really don't want that. Even if someone has a lot of resources, typically they don't really want fame or anything. Most sane people don't really want fame or adulation or a bunch of praise from people, because it's just not it makes just doing basic things very hard. Like, I was watching a video of Ben Affleck and just trying to go to like Starbucks or something, or McDonald's or something. I think it was Starbucks, but he's just getting mauled by like reporters, and it was just in the drive-thru, and he was in the news, and I think he was kind of having a drinking problem or something. But who cares? That's his own life, right? That's his own. If you want to go watch his movies, I think he's a good actor, but he's got all this other stuff going on, and it's like these people are invading his kind of personal space, and that's the reality. It's like, yeah, the guy's probably worth $100 million or more, and he's this really successful actor, and he probably has a really nice house, and he has, anything that anyone materially would want, but he has maybe a drinking problem or whatever the case is. I don't know, but that's the he's just getting bothered everywhere he goes. He can't go publicly somewhere. He probably has to hire security and maybe like a personal buyer that goes out and buys whatever he wants for him, so that he doesn't have to leave his house and get mobbed by people that are like, oh my God, it's Ben Affleck or Matt Damon or whoever, right? So, you end up kind of being left alone again. It's almost like just being in prison, because it's you're on your own really, and there's you have all the nice stuff, but you can't really blend in with society and just go do normal things anymore. So this is I'm not going to stop here. This is the parking for all the camping, and then I think this road kind of turns to shit here, so I'm probably going to turn around, because this is more of a primitive road around here, I think. We'll see how far this goes back, though, because I haven't been back here since this was I have never been back here since this has been paved, so I don't know how far back this goes. I remember this road being all dirt and gravel the last time I was here, which was probably in 2012, which is about 9 years ago. It was when I was a senior in high school. I came back here I think it was after I graduated. I spent the summer not doing anything. I think I was just working at the mall or something. I wasn't doing anything. So I came back here one of the summer mornings, and and there's a little bridge over there, but it looks like this is the end of the actual paved road, so I'll go ahead and turn around. Put it into reverse here, and then head on back. I'll go to the campground too, but yeah, I took my dirt bike down here, a couple different dirt bikes I had over the years, and that was fun. And I guess it's just kind of crazy how fast time goes by, because that didn't, it's just you kind of are living in the day, and then things kind of just happen, and then you look back, you're like, man, that was a year ago, that was 3 years ago, that was 5 years ago, that was 8 years ago. It's like, wow, I'm old, right? Things just kind of keep moving on, and you're the only thing getting older, right? All these trees and everything back here looks the same no matter what. You come back here in 500 years, it'll probably be the same. This pavement will be, who knows if this pavement will still be here, but all this natural stuff will just look the exact same. I remember looking at photos of like this, of the town I live in, and they'd have old photos from like early 1900s, and just everything looked the exact same besides the actual man-made structures, right? The mountains look the same, because all of that stuff never really changes. It's just the structures, right? Like these cabins fade away, and any man-made things like cars, you can really see old cars that are just rusting away. And so it's kind of cool from that aspect, because it just shows you that nature always wins, right? We're just here for it. We're temporary passengers of this vehicle. And well, not really. We're always going to be here. Our state just kind of changes. So I guess we all kind of we're all just dust in the wind, as Kansas says, right? But in some form or another. Obviously, once you're dead, who knows what happens. Let me know if anyone's out there that's died and wants to tell me what happens after you die. Go ahead and tell me. That would be breaking news. But this is probably where I'll end the video. This is just a random 30 or 40 minute talk. I don't know how long it's been since I've been yapping to myself, but if you made it to the end of the video, I've got to say you probably have nothing else going on, and or you just really like people talking to themselves. I don't know. Anyways, guys, if you like the video, or I don't really care about getting subscribers or anonymity or any of that stuff, because I've had my YouTube channel. I started it in 2010. I didn't post like regularly or anything, but I looked at all my stuff. I'm like, I've had this account for like 11 years almost. And I think I didn't even look at the YouTube analytics things until I think like a year ago. So I had no idea how many people were like looking at the videos or the views or any of that stuff, because I didn't care. I just made videos more for myself. But I guess I have like 100 subscribers, which I looked up online. It's like, you can get 100 subscribers in 2 days or something, or 60 days or whatever. I'm like, okay, I did it in 10 years. So anyways, it is cool to see people that subscribe to the channel. I don't ever plan to make any money on YouTube or anything like that. I just kind of make the videos because I think it's something cool to look back on in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years when I'm old. I'm sure this platform will still be around, but for me, it's just kind of a passage. I think so much time goes by where I don't have any real memories of what I was doing, or kind of what I was thinking, or what I was saying. And I think the technology like YouTube has made it pretty cool that you can put videos out of random stuff, or doing stuff, or just talk. I just go around, I guess, kind of talk to myself about stuff. But it's interesting, just to go back and listen to it, because it's an actual video, or something you can actually see, instead of just having kind of an empty memory, or an empty, because I've seen it, as people get older, they have such a hard time remembering anything, and so having a video kind of makes it something concrete. But anyways, if you like that or have any thoughts, you can feel free to comment. I usually try to reply to any comment I get, or like the video or dislike the video. That's cool too. And I think probably only on 2 or 3 of my videos have I ever said, subscribe or anything. But I'm definitely not telling you to, or asking you to. I'm not asking you to subscribe. You can do it if you want to. I don't really even turn on the notification things for any of the people I'm subscribed to. But it is cool to see that I have 100 subscribers. That's pretty cool. So anyways, that's the end of the video, and you guys have a great evening. I'm going to drive back, and so maybe I'll make a different video. Have a good day.